Welcome back to the Hall of Origins. Let's take a look at probably the most hardcore action character Disney ever made.
Now listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. Fear is a four-letter word, ladies. If you want to go pee-pee in your big boy slacks, keep it to yourself. It's make your mama's proud time!
The hardcore action star of the video game Hero's Duty, whom we all know as Sergeant Calhoun, actually has a much longer name. Her full name is Sergeant Tamara Jean Calhoun. Early on in development, she was going to be a male character, but writer Phil Johnson inquired, what if he was a woman instead? And what if she became Fix-It Felix's love interest? The idea seemed to stick, and thus the gender was changed. In designing the character, the creation team knew that she had to be strong and intimidating, because after all, she would be in charge of a team of commandos fighting off alien invaders. Artist Kevin Nelson created a dynamic look for Calhoun that gave her the appearance of a strong character, but also very appealing. When developing the design, she was given certain qualities, such as the strong legs of a runner. To showcase her agility, she was given a hoverboard to ride, and to symbolically show that she was closed off, she had a skin camouflage ability where she could become any color she wanted. There were a few concerns about this ability because it was thought that this would make her hard to relate to the audience. I think it would have been fine. After all, how many of us haven't imagined that we could just disappear when we're confronted with emotions we didn't want to deal with? Huh? This started a non-threatening fight about what the character should ultimately be, a strong character or an appealing one. The struggle would be decided when Jane Lynch came on board as the character's voice actor. Sergeant Calhoun was then reworked to be based off her, including her mannerisms and hairstyle. Along with Jane Lynch, the inspiration for her look can be traced back to various video game characters. When she's in her armor in early concepts, she shared some resemblance to Samus Aran from Metroid. She is also similar in looks to the female version of Commander Shepard from Mass Effect, and Sophia Hendricks from Gears of War.
Alright, Pussy Willows, back to start positions. Slick tiddlywinking, pint size.
I'm Fix-It Felix Jr., ma'am. From the game, Fix-It Felix Jr.
It probably doesn't surprise many that Fix-It Felix's game, Fix-It Felix Jr., was inspired by the 1981 arcade game Donkey Kong, with Ralph representing Donkey Kong and Fix-It Felix taking the place of Mario. However, his name is more of a reference to the sequel arcade game Donkey Kong Jr., with Fix-It Felix Jr. being the offspring of a character we have yet to see, named Fix-It Felix Sr. In fact, in a deleted scene, Fix-It Felix Jr. even mentioned that he had a father whom had his own arcade game, cementing this reference as true. When coming up with Fix-It Felix Jr., the character that they wanted was the farm boy type. Good manners, naive and pure, and an all-around nice guy. Some of the inspirations were Richie Cunningham from Happy Days, Andy Stitzer from The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and of course, the polite plumber himself, Mario. Well, except for when he stomps on Goombas. But, you know, mostly nice. However, an early design showed that he was a ruler, and his tools were traditional cartoon characters with eyes. Wouldn't that have made a completely different movie? And I love this design right here because it makes Felix look like a Hanna-Barbera character. Doesn't he look like he just fits in with Fred and Barney? Probably what really set Fix-It Felix on the path to being the character he is today was his role in the story changing. Originally, he was going to accompany Ralph on his adventures into other games, and at another point, he was going to be the main focus of the movie. But when Calhoun was introduced as his love interest, certain aspects about his character started to change. Up to this point, the creators were having difficulty with Felix's design, like his head being too big, and his profile looking just a little bit off. But when he was paired with Calhoun, he was changed to a more mature-looking person. After all, some of his previous designs look more childlike, and that wouldn't look right in a relationship with a character like Calhoun. So naturally, they changed the character to look more grown-up looking. Fix-It Felix is the everyman, and his well-mannered demeanor really adds a lot of character to the Wreck-It Ralph franchise. He may not be the main focus as originally intended, but the movie wouldn't be the same without him.